episode of the Bleeding Metal podcast. We are here in season 5. And yeah, it's very special to us. So today I will talk to my lovely co-host,
Kiki, hello. My pronouns are she, her.
My name is Martha. My pronouns are also she, her. Today, we want to talk about music we have been listening to lately. And I think we can start with a very special album for Kiki because you got to listen to some music which isn't out yet, but is highly anticipated by the metal community. So, Kiki, tell us which album, which band are we talking about?
The band is Buried Tomorrow. I have been a little bit obsessed with this band for the past few years.
Understandable.
I have to say that I was never a huge fan of their early works because I honestly just didn't know them really. The first time I listened to them was in 2019 with Choke and the Cannibal album, which is a really good one. And from then on, I started listening to them. But in 2023, The Seventh Son was released, which was also pretty cool. But I don't have a lot of favorites from that album. But when you listen to this, it might be just released a few days ago. Their new album is coming out on May 16th. And it has a very long title, which I really like, though. Will You Haunt Me with That Same Patience? And the cover art is also so cool. It's this like scene in a home. It has this whole, I don't know, like daily routine kind of vibe, but it's also very dark and it has this dark teal or dark green color that was a thing also in the previous album, in The Seventh Son. And it has 11 tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them have been released already. And wow. Especially because Villain Arc was released when? It's been a while already. It's one of my favorites from the album. What If I Burn was, I think, the second single and is also a really good one. It's just a really cool album where Danny Winterbates, the main vocalist, explores so much of his voice. I think he said himself as well that he's exploring his clean vocals a little more and also all of the different harsh vocals that he can do. And it's just so inspiring. I really hope to one day scream as well as he can. And for real, I said this recently that Spirit Box was already my album of the year. Yeah. Probably. But now the new Buried Tomorrow album is probably a good contender for it. So I would say from the tracks that have not yet been released, Silence Isn't Helping Us is one of my favorites. That's track number 7. And the singles are just really good too. But I think that there's enough variety and enough surprises for us to love this album in its entirety. Track number 1, To Dream to Forget.
It sounds really current, really relevant today. Just the title.
Yes. Just to start with something like that. And also, for me as a vocalist myself, I always connect with vocals so much that it's no surprise. That's what I like the most about the album. They have 2 vocalists, and Tom never really sang completely clean. But now he's also exploring like a little more grit and a little more distortion to his vocals. And so to just have these very different vocal colors combined is really nice, and it enriches the music a lot. Take a look, check it out, give it a try. Buried Tomorrow's new album out on May 16th is an absolute recommendation from me. I have to keep listening to it because I know that it will keep growing on me and maybe it will grow on you as well.
Very good advertisement. I will definitely listen to it as well when it comes out.
I think you will like it too, Martha. I'm not yet super familiar, I think, with your music taste because I think it's also like very varied. Yeah. You listen to a lot of different music, I have the feeling. So yeah, what have you been listening to recently?
I haven't really tried out more new music now because I started a new music project And in order to find out what kind of music we wanted to make, we had to listen to a lot of music we already both know. And we have also been transcribing songs. And that is something I never used
Okay.
to do because it's a shitload of work. Like really sitting there and like looking at all the chords and chord variations and harmonies and everything, and then differentiate which is like the vocal note from the chord and why does it feel like it feels, because a lot of it is basically math. And for me, because I'm so bad at music theory and I try not to work on my music theory because I know I'm going to hate it. So so a lot of my hearing music is really because I'm blessed with very good hearing. And so I can say this note will fit because my feeling says it will be good. And
Oh
so
my gosh,
the
that's such a good point. Can we take a
yeah.
minute to talk about that?
Yeah, of course.
Because that is my musicianship as well. I sing by ear.
Yeah.
I do have a degree in musicology, but I barely made it through all of the theory classes. And I never really learned to play an instrument. I have basic knowledge of piano, but yeah, I just have the sense of harmonies and what fits and what doesn't, what is dissonant, which, yeah, is a little bit limiting, but at the same time, it's how I work.
Yeah, I
But
absolutely feel that.
I understand that too. Like, music theory can be a lot, can just be so mathematical, can just be a lot to process and a lot to think about. Yeah, but you do play at least one instrument.
Yes, because if you play bass, it's really easy to not play from sheet music, but from tabs.
Right.
And I have also, I can't even read the bass key. Really embarrassing for all bassists out there, but I don't care because you can do everything you need to do with tabs. But if I sing classical music every week when I go to my classical music class, I sing Mozart, Brahms, Mendelssohn, everything from the sheet music, but I don't actively read it. The first lesson of a new song, my teacher plays it, and then I hear it, and then the hearing fits to the sheet music, and then like when
Okay.
she plays the first note, I know how to start branded into my memory
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, yeah. You sing from memory. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I used to do that too.
But it works so well. And
Mm-hmm.
on my vocal lesson with Einar Solberg, I told him, like, I can't. And he was like, yeah, so you're fine. I can, but I don't always do it. His recommendation was that I don't need to practice my music theory. So I'm not gonna until I don't know, I seriously have to. But on the other
Mm-hmm.
hand, it helps a lot that Tom, the musician I'm writing this new music with, he studied jazz guitar and he's really good at that math part. And so right now we combine the math and the feeling, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the best music I've ever written. I
Damn,
hope you can
nice.
all hear it at some point. He's so fast in writing songs in Cubase, and then we built the song around the vocals, which is also something I have never done, but it sounds so much better and it's so much easier to have a really catchy hook or a melody or a
Mm-hmm.
chorus or whatever if you write the music around the lyrics and the vocals. I think most famous pop songs have been written like that. No group of musicians writing a song and then somebody comes along and does the vocals and then it becomes a hit song. Maybe that
Yeah.
happened a few times in history, but I don't think that's how you write great songs. I'm learning a lot these days. And I am also becoming so much faster in songwriting. I also love understanding how this math is basically creating the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. Why does the sleep token emergence song, why does it feel like it feels? Because it's like this and this harmony, and then the
All
vocalist is
right.
like using this note from that harmony. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and that's so cool too, to challenge yourself with different approaches and to keep learning and growing as a musician.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so cool. That is what keeps the creative juices flowing or whatever. Give us examples though. Drop names. What have you been listening to that is flowing into that new music that you're making?
We started a lot with Vola. I think we transcribed 4 Vola songs because they also have this magic songwriting that they introduce parts of the chorus or chords of the chorus or the vocals of the chorus so early in the song that you have this feeling that you're like, oh, yeah, this is the chorus and I already know it. I can already sing it with you. Or how the chords from, I don't know, the verse are also in the chorus or they come back in the bridge later on or something like that. Or they have these rhythm patterns. They have a absolutely amazing drummer. And so like the rhythm patterns, they reoccur and you hear them sometimes throughout the whole song. So if you listen closely, they are there, but you don't get bored because you hear the same rhythm pattern basically the whole song or something like that.
Right.
And also, I love Vola lyrics. Yeah, so cute. I think one of my favorites, every time when I hear the song, I have this phrase, my terrain is slipping away while your champagne is still on a tray. Or like,
Oh, wow.
I've never rhymed something with tray. I know I never did that,
Yeah.
but maybe I should.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that is super funny that you say that. And also, this episode is now going from what are we listening to currently to how are we writing music currently? Which I mean,
Yeah.
why not? Because, first of all, my songwriting is mostly around lyrics, and I've always been really focused in English.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to me to write in Spanish, even though that's my native language.
Yeah, I have the same with
But
German.
yeah, writing in German, I can completely forget. Just singing like covers in German is already super difficult for me. But it's also, I also write a lot, I think, metaphorically.
Yeah.
And I recently co-wrote a song where that was the challenge. Try to make the metaphors more literal and more daily,
Yeah.
trivial things, but then also make them gory, make them disgusting. And the song is a beautiful ballad.
Oh, that
And it's
sounds super
like, and
interesting.
it's a ballad kind of about breakup and stuff like that, but make the lyrics very gory. At some point I had this goal in my mind to, through those words, even though the music is really nice, through the words make the listener uncomfortable, make them feel as uncomfortable as the scene that we're describing. And it was difficult because I'm not used to writing like that, but it was so cool to find those kinds of words and to combine them in a way that made sense. That song is so good. I had so much fun with it. And it's just so cool to have those kinds of challenges. And I was listening to a podcast recently called Switched on Pop about music analysis and how music works. And they were talking about some of Taylor Swift's songs, and they were saying that the success of Taylor Swift comes from how she writes the songs that is so specific. And to me, that was something that I guess I learned in school. Literature should give you the chance to interpret it however you want. And so songs are really good when you think that is my story. They don't know me and they are in a different continent, but they are writing this song for me because I can identify myself with all those feelings so well. But in this case, it was even more extreme because she famously writes songs about her exes and stuff like that. So she was writing about something he was wearing, something he was doing specifically, all of these memories of the things they did together, but things that were really specific, like names of songs, even like dropping the names of other artists or names of places, of streets even. Those kinds of things that were so specific that they make it even more relatable and you can connect with it on a different level. And they were saying, yeah, that's why she's so successful. And I was like, okay, let's do that then. No, not really, but it was super interesting.
That sounds super interesting too. Yeah, we haven't really reached pop music yet, but really good metal or rock songs, they are just pop songs. Like different guitars and drums, and sometimes people scream.
Yeah.
I don't think that the writing is really different, actually. It's just how the song sounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's a differentiation also from like classic musicology, that pop is everything that is not ernste Musik. That is not
like
serious classical
music and jazz. Jazz is also different.
I always thought that was so elitist and so stupid, but whatever. There is a place for that categorization in the world.
Yeah, maybe.
Are there any albums that are coming out soon that you're looking forward to? We're recording this on May 9th. The new Sleep Token just came out, and none of us have listened to it yet.
Yes, I am so mad. I had to work all day. I came home, I had a quick cookout. So I haven't had time to listen to this Sleep Token album, but I'm looking forward to it a lot, and I will review it together with my good friend Flo from the Leitzover Gestern podcast and Time for Metal team. We have been reviewing the past 2 Sleep Token albums, and we will do it again.
Take Me Back to Eden was such a punch in the gut, I think. It was so painful. It's so good, but it came out at a time in my life where it was just so painful.
Yeah, the time of your life determines so much on how you perceive music. If I listen to this now, I can't feel as sad as it made me feel when it came out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, I'm a happy person right now. I can't have these feelings. And I have this feeling memory. I still know how it feels, but I don't feel like that anymore. It's also nice to not feel sad at some point. I will take it as long as it lasts.
Yeah. And Sleep Token is also one of those very productive bands. This is their 3rd album only? What? Like for real?
Yeah, I
for
think
real?
they had like
1,
an
2, 3.
EP before that. So
Yeah, but full
Jaws
length.
and Nazareth came out before that also. And the Hey Ya cover.
Unforgettable. But it was This Place Will Become Your Tomb in 2021, Take Me Back to Eden in 23, and now Even in Arcadia in 25. So every 2 years, 3 albums, the EPs before and everything. Nice.
I have heard about Sleep Token, which kind of ruined it for me, was that they are basically a casted band. So there's a producer who writes all the songs, and the rest of the band is casted together, and they created this whole concept which worked out perfectly, but it took away a little of the magic, and I was a little mad.
Yeah, I bet.
That the person who told me about this told me, but I will live with it and still appreciate the great mastery behind this music.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, also what counts is how it makes you feel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it's not otherwise problematic.
Yeah, exactly, of course.
But it's also good to know what things are and to call things for what they are.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the whole baby metal thing that Pia and Inger from the Number Zero analyzed just a few months ago in the episode that we can also link in the show notes. And I have had many discussions about that, about baby metal, especially on my Twitch stream and with my community. We had these discussions about, but their music is good. And I always found them problematic because of the whole, now I have the language, now I can call it idol culture. Yeah. And first of all, they have said before in interviews that they didn't really listen to metal before they were casted into this project. Yeah. So yeah, the songwriter is great, the music is good, but it's one dude. somewhere
Yeah.
that composes the whole music, and then they perform it. They are performers. As performers, they are also good. That's fine. But this is not a triple female fronted band. This is not a super feminist band that is bringing women in metal forward. No. And it's
Yeah.
funny because in the episode where Inger analyzes it with Pia with much more knowledge and depth, Inger says, baby metal is the machine that metalheads are supposed to be raging against. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes! Because it's capitalism using music,
Exactly.
basically. So I was so happy to hear that analysis and to understand, to have more arguments to make that case. And yeah, it was a very interesting point also that they made in the end for all those people that are collaborating with them. Sure, that's nice because it will bring them more fame and more streams and clicks and fans and whatever. That is fine too. But admit it, it's not like you're collaborating with women in metal because you're cool and such a feminist. That's not it.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't mean stop being a fan of baby metal. It doesn't mean stop being a fan of Sleep Token. It doesn't mean that their music is worse for it or that you'll be a bad person that needs to be cancelled because you listen to them. Not at all. Just let's call things what they are and then stand by that. Oh, another album that I have been listening to a little bit, or a few albums that just came out, are the new Machine Head.
I did see ads of that.
Unatoned was cool. And EPICA's new album, A Spiral, also just came out a few weeks ago on April 11th. Oh, almost a month ago. And it has a few good, really good songs. Arcana and Obsidian Heart are my favorites.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's not that the band got worse. Maybe it's just that my music taste changed. But there was a time where I thought, damn, EPICA can really just not get better, because after Design Your Universe, I didn't think they could get better. And then the Quantum Enigma came out, and I was like, okay, now this is the highest high. This is like the best of EPICA. And then the Holographic Principle came out, and I was going, okay, no, I was so wrong, because this is the best ever. This is their best album. And that was back in 2016. And that is the sad part, because Omega came out after in 2021. So 5 years later, they did a few things in between, but 5 years later to bring out an album that was not better than the one before, that was a bit of a letdown for my fangirl heart. And then A Spiral is also not better than the Holographic Principle, in my opinion. So, but they're still good, and they are still keeping very much in their good old EPICA style. Still a band that I listen to, still a band that I have a few favorite songs when they release something new. No longer my favorite band.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
It's part of being an adult.
Yeah.
Part of growing up.
I don't like that part of growing up sometimes.
Me
Yes.
neither. I think that's all for now. This has been a team episode, is what we were calling them, and what we will keep doing.
We will keep a mix of team
Yes.
episodes
and guest
guests.
episodes. So each month we will bring you 2 episodes with the both of us talking about everything, and 2 episodes with guests. As we said last time, don't forget to reach out to us, send us your ideas or your guest suggestions, and we will gladly talk to them and or talk about those topics here on the podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good time.
Bye.
Matter.